2006, I was asked to give a talk at the NIH, okay, specifically the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences in Research Triangle Park, North Carolina. They were having their 100th anniversary of public health. And it was a 2-day symposium. The first day was on their successes, like lead poisoning and pollution and asthma, things they'd figured out and been able to do something for the public health. And the second day was on challenges. And the morning was going to be obesity, metabolic syndrome, and the afternoon was going to be ADD and autism. Okay. So they asked me to give a talk. What do you think is the single most important environmental exposure that leads to obesity and metabolic syndrome? And I figured that they probably figured I was going to, give a talk about some, like BPA or some other, environmental, toxicant, that's in the water or in the air, or, something like that. And I thought to myself, how am I going to, make this worthwhile? And I thought to myself, all right, wait a second, let's go backwards here. Children today get 2 diseases they never got before: type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease. Those 2. Children never got those before. Now, lots of kids get it. All right. So I looked up type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease. And of course, I know a lot about both of them, but I very specifically looked for origins and causation. And it turns out that in the old days, back in the 1970s, before this pandemic of chronic disease started, both those diseases were the diseases of alcohol. Type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease were the diseases of alcohol. But kids don't drink alcohol. So I said, all right, is there something they're exposed to that's like alcohol? So I opened up my Leninger, biochemistry textbook from 1974, sitting at this table that I'm at right now. And I said, what the hell is like alcohol? And there it was, and stared me right in the friggin' face, right off the page from 1974. And the answer was fructose. Fructose and alcohol are metabolized virtually identically. And it makes sense that that would be the case, because after all, where do you get alcohol from? Fermentation of fructose. It's called wine. Yeah. We do it in Nappen Sonoma every day. Okay. The big difference between fructose and alcohol is that for alcohol, the yeast does the first step of metabolism called glycolysis. For fructose, we do our own first step of metabolism. But after that, what the mitochondria see are exactly the same, acetyl-CoA. It's just a question of which was the substrate. Was it the ethanol or was it the fructose? But ultimately, they end up with the same fate. So it's very clear, all of a sudden, right looking at that right there, that this is the substrate that is driving both the type 2 diabetes and the fatty liver disease. Mm-hmm. So I put together a talk, and I went to North Carolina, and I said, this is what I think's going on, and here's why. Half-hour talk. And then there was the bathroom break. And I got my applause, and then everyone left the room, and they didn't come back. I'm standing there at the podium talking with, this person, that person, and no one's coming back for the next session. And then I had to use the bathroom. So I went out, and I actually got tackled in the friggin' bathroom of the NIH by a bunch of crazed toxicologists screaming at me saying, oh my God, you're right. This makes perfect sense. This is the toxin. You have to tell everyone about this. I guess I'm still doing it.